Nice.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I went lighter. Oh, thank you.
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. Happy Comicon Day.
Yes.
It doesn't feel like a Friday when you're at Comicon, though, does it? It feels like a weekend, let's be honest.
We use every day as the weekend goes on.
So, I'm gonna sorry. What can we expect from the characters? Because in the trailer we see he buries you and then you come back to life by Tituba. Are we gonna see them interact in the beginning of the series, or is it gonna be a long wait like we did last time, like until last season where it was a long wait for them to be reunited?
How much
is a long wait? How much can we say?
I'd like to say that it's not as long of a wait.
It isn't, and also I think John is dead, but I get made aware that he's still alive. So there's a lot of kind of interaction even when there isn't, like trying to find him, be together.
Me trying to decide if she's even an apparition when I see her. Those type of things. Is this real? Is this in my head? Yeah, things happen a little bit faster. But also,
they do happen. Yeah, I forgot that happens. Oh yeah, it is quite early on.
But it's still. It's still confusing and still a little, at least for John, to wonder what's truly going on. But John's now in the thick of this all now. He knows about the witchcraft. He knows about what's going on. So he's kind of has to just throw caution to the wind and trust in his heart.
Well, he's gonna team up with Isaac the Truthsayer to try to get rid of all the witches. But with Mary coming back, is there still going to be, he's still anti-witch, or is it going to be a conflict for him?
It's a conflict, for sure. And I think, but you're seeing different sects and different groups of witches, which we were already seeing last year, but this year as well. You now have, it's kind of for the greater of good that he kind of put some of this aside, because their son is now the devil, and he is now opening up hell. He's bringing hell to that. So it's more of a combined effort.
I think you're less worried about the witches and more worried about hell on earth, the devil. So you find that everyone's forming alliances where they wouldn't usually, in order just to survive.
Now, last season, John got marks put on him by the natives. Will we see more of an effect on that this season? Because we saw an effect last season whenever you used anything, like a piece of cloth.
Yeah, it was fun. It was a lot of fun. No. That's not... He, at the end of season 2, when he's dying, and Mary gives her life to him, that power that temporary power that he had developed is taken away. So he comes back more human, probably more human than he ever was at the beginning of season 3. Season 1, he's lost and lost here. Season 2, he's a completely different person. And season 3, he's kind of coming back to just being what John Alden would be.
Do you guys do any background reading on the Salem trials to kind of help you get into character and kind of what's going on?
All of what we've done in 3 seasons really happened.
We did.
Yeah. During
pretty horrible
1.
time.
Yeah.
Pretty terrible.
It is. But you can't. I felt like I didn't want to get too married to the historical facts that we had, because otherwise we're not making a documentary, and the writers they've kind of expanded the world, and
rather quickly. So I feel like you embrace that it was a period of time, but we're making like a fantasy show in some ways as well. So the fun part of it is finding, especially season 1, is when we were really dealing with more of the trials. Now we've expanded the universe, but it was finding these historical pieces of fact and then messing with it a little bit, or having a character come that's being introduced, which I think they've continued to do throughout the seasons, that are real people from back in that time. Starting off the character similar to that historical person, and then bending the rules after that. And that's what the historical fiction can be. So yeah, for me, it's been a while doing the research, but it was a lot of it. Season 1 is 3 years ago.
Do you find the show walks a fine line between gothic romance and horror, and do you have a preference for which way to go?
I think it does, actually, and I think that for me personally, I like the gothic romance, but I understand that there's like a horror element to the show that a lot of people do respond to as well. So that is something that I'm not so much that side, but I like the gothic romance and like the relationships of people within that time period.
Yeah.
I like them both. I'm a massive horror movie fan, so I do love the horror part of it. For me, it's fun just looking at each script as it comes out and seeing, okay, as long as the heartbeat is still there, the characters are still fleshed out correctly, there's something interesting to do for everyone. Mary and John can continue to have their tug of war, but there needs to, just being a horror fan, as long as each episode has some great thing to pull the audience in from a different perspective as well. And if that's a new creature, or if a new monster, or a new effect, or a new spell, then we have to keep that ante going. Just as a fan of horror, I think that's a good thing to do. We have like 2 great ones in the first episode of season 3, so I'm looking forward to seeing what people think of that.
Very good.
A lot of responsibility has really been put on Oliver Bell's shoulders to really carry this persona of the devil. Like, was there ever a moment when you saw him that you were just like, wow, he's really a little creepy now?
All the time, all the time, and he gets better and better. And the writers really took a gamble because he has school and everything else. They gave him a lot of responsibility this season, and he was incredible and so much fun to work with. I think you guys are going to be scared shitless when you see this season.
You had a Stephen Lang season 1, you had a Lucy Lawless season 2.
You've got Oliver
and then
Bell.
we're like, you give you Oliver Bell, this kid, for season 3, and he really does an amazing job.
How difficult do you think it will be for Mary and John to defeat their own kid or their own son? Because, you have to.
I mean, I don't know if there's a way to defeat the devil that's on Earth. I mean, we're going to try everything that we can.
You'll see a lot of trying.
A lot of trying.
You'll see a lot of ideas.
A lot of ideas, a lot of trying, but this is something that, I mean, it changes the whole world forever, And you felt that at the end of season 2, so there's no point in like doing a season 3 where like episode 2 we're like, oh great, go rid of that guy. It's like hang out and save him some more. The whole world has changed.
Okay. All right. Thanks everyone.
Thank you.
You take them. Thank you.
Oh, one more badges.
All right.
Oh, we got this for your badges.
Amazing.
So put on.
Nerd reaction.
I'll do it on my forehead.
Okay.
On my forehead.
Shannon, Janet, we